So far with adjustments, we have already done things that can happen any time of the year, but when it happens the last day, we call it an adjustment, like bad debts, interest, all of those normal transactions. Then we started with adjustments that only happens the last day of the financial year, and that would be like we did depreciation, and then we did trading stock deficit or trading stock surplus, and then we did consumable stores on hand. Now today I'm going to teach you the terminology accrued. Can you see? Accrued income and accrued expense. Now accrued, the word accrued means it's still outstanding. Okay? So in other words, let's use rent income. So let's use rent income, and I say to you, oh, you know what? Oh, let me not do that. So let's say your rent that you need to receive every month is 1,000 rand per month. Okay? So if I do my rent T, I'm going to have whatever I received so far, and I'm going to have my profit and loss. Okay. So now if I ask you, how much is my income for the year? In other words, how much am I supposed to receive this year? 12,000. And you did that by saying 1,000 times 12. Now let's say I say to you, your balance is 11, meaning you've received 11 so far. What problem can you see here? There's 1,000 rand outstanding. So, in other words, there's 1,000 rand accrued. So now on the plus side, I'm going to say there's an accrued income of 1,000. So, can you see from the 12,000 that I'm supposed to receive, I received 11 and I'm still waiting for 1. Okay, so now remember, this is income. Now listen to what I'm saying to you. Accrued income is income receivable. Now, where in the balance sheet face do you also have the word receivable? With current? With debtors, ne? Receivables goes under current assets. So can you see that accrued income is an asset? It's going to go under receivables because I still need to receive the money. Is everybody sharp with me when I say that? Okay. So in other words, next year, when I start my new rent income, because remember here it's closed off. So if I start my new rent income, I'm already going to say, oh, I had a accrued income of 1,000. Can you see I'm closing it off? I'm taking it back. Now it's going to go to the minus side. Why does it go to the minus side? Because next year, whatever is being paid first, if the first 1,000 that's being paid to me next year isn't part of next year's income, does that make sense? So in other words, if I draw my financial year, let me make it a bit smaller. If I draw my financial year, and I say this is year 1 and this is year 2. So in year 1, I received 11 and I still have to receive 1,000 because my income is 12. Now, do you agree with me? If I receive all 12 months next year, I'm going to receive this year's rent, ne? And I'm also going to receive the rent from last year that is still owed to me. So can you see I have to say 13 less 1 to get to the next year's income? Does that make sense? It feels like I'm talking in circles. The only thing you need to know at this stage is that part, the accrued income part. This that I did here is called the reversing. So you reverse and you adjust. Can you see? Reversing is the opposite of adjusting. Is everybody happy with that? So I always say accrued. Can you see it looks like an A plus. Accrued plus. Okay. Why do I say plus? Because accrued makes my expense more or my income more, depending if it's an income or expense. And the same goes with accrued expenses. Accrued expenses, let's say we are doing rent expense. Let's take exactly the same scenario. I've got a balance of 11. I've got a profit and loss of 12, meaning this side shorts 1,000. And I'm going to call that accrued expense. And that means it's an expense that is still payable. And where do I see the word payable in the balance sheet? Current liabilities. So can you see then that accrued expense is going to be a liability. And then whatever I pay next year, 1,000 of whatever I pay next year will be for this year. And the rest would be for next year. You guys sharp with the examples? Okay, let's go through this. Feels like I'm talking weird today. Are you understanding me? Yes. Yeah. She can take it. So, now let's look at accrued expense. So they give me here water and electricity 20,000. It means February 2028 I have a balance of 20,000, meaning that's what I already paid. Ne? Now they say the water and electricity account for February has not been paid. So it is payable. So it's going to make the expense I already paid more, because there's still an extra expense that I haven't paid and it's still part of this financial year. So I'm going to say accrued expense 1,000. Accrued expense, I'm going to say water and electricity 1,000. This is a liability. So my profit and loss is going to close off 21. So you will see in your trial balance, your balance sheet is going to be accrued expense 1,000, water and electricity 21. Can you see to your income statement? It's going to be the 20 plus the 1. Right. Everybody sharp. So this goes to the balance sheet, to payables. This goes to the income statement as a expense. Everybody done? Can I move up? Can I take this one away? Oh, you guys are dead today. Feels like Monday. So, accrued income, exactly the same principle. It is just now it becomes a receivable. So they say, commission income. Income, February 28, balance 1375. Commission of 500 for work done in February. Can you see it's stuff in this financial year? But we have not received it yet. But it forms part of this year's income. So now we say accrued income 500. Accrued income we debit with commission, and we close off commission as 1875. Yes. Yeah. Nominal, always profit and loss, except sales, cost of sales, and debtors allowance. So let me quickly ask you. Let's go to the following year. If I receive 7,000 Rand in the following year, how much of that 7,000 is for next year? In the following year, how much of that 7,000 is the income for next year from the commission? Yeah, so that commission income, if I receive next year 7,000, how much can I allocate to next year? Perfect, 6,500. Because that 500 is still receivable. So I'm going to receive it next year. So it means I'm going to receive 500 for last year, and the rest would be for the new year. Does that make sense? So if I go to the trial balance, I now know my balance sheet is going to be accrued income, and it's on the debit side, and the nominal is going to be commission income, which would be the 1375 plus the 500 gives me 1875.